My best friend stole my lottery ticket. I didn't do anything. I let karma handle him. When my best friend, Parker, reached into my bag and swapped my winning scratch-off ticket for a fake one, I didn't say a word. I watched him run to the store, his face pale with greed, thinking he'd just stolen $500,000 from the person who had shared a dorm room with him for 4 years. He blocked my number and moved out that same night, leaving me with a pile of unpaid bills and a smirk on his face. What Parker didn't realize was that I knew he was a thief long before that ticket was ever printed. I didn't lose $500,000 that day. I paid 50 cents to find out exactly what Parker was worth. Parker and I were the classic brothers by choice. We met freshman year of college and clicked immediately. We shared everything: pizza at 2 in the morning, rent on our tiny apartment, dreams of getting rich someday and leaving our boring lives behind. Everyone said we were inseparable, the kind of friends who'd be at each other's weddings and be godparents to each other's kids. But I'd started noticing things about Parker over the past year, small things that bothered me but I tried to ignore. He had what I called a shortcut mentality, always looking for the easy way out instead of doing the actual work. Parker was the guy who always forgot his wallet when we went out to dinner, but somehow had money to post photos of expensive bottle service at clubs on Instagram. He borrowed money and never paid it back, always with some excuse about his paycheck being delayed or his bank account being frozen. He'd take credit for group projects he barely contributed to, charming professors with his smile, while the rest of us did the actual work. Our other friends didn't seem to notice, or maybe they just didn't care enough to say anything. I noticed everything because I work as an insurance fraud investigator, and my job taught me one important thing: people are predictable, especially when they think they're the smartest person in the room. Our circle of friends was completely neutral about everything. There were 5 of us total: me, Parker, and 3 other guys we'd known since college. They liked Parker because he was the life of every party, always cracking jokes and making people laugh. They liked me because I was the reliable one who gave them rides home when they drank too much and helped them move apartments without complaining. There was no drama in our group, no favorites, no taking sides. Just a normal bunch of guys in their late 20s trying to figure out life. None of them had any idea what was about to happen. My 28th birthday fell on a Saturday in October. Parker and I had plans to grab burgers and maybe catch a movie, nothing fancy. We stopped at a gas station on the way to the restaurant because Parker needed cigarettes. While he was inside, I wandered over to the lottery ticket display near the counter. I don't usually buy scratch-offs, but it was my birthday and I felt like doing something different. I picked a Golden Stake ticket, the expensive kind that costs $5 instead of $1. The clerk handed it to me with a bored expression, and I paid cash. We got back in my car and I started scratching the ticket while Parker drove. I used a quarter from the cup holder, carefully revealing each silver panel. The first number matched, then the second, then the third. My heart started beating faster as I scratched off the prize amount, $500,000. I stared at it for a full 10 seconds, not believing what I was seeing. "Parker, look," I said, my voice shaking slightly. "I think I just won $500,000. I held the ticket up so he could see it while we were stopped at a red light. Parker's face didn't look happy for me. It didn't light up with excitement or friendship. Instead, I saw something darker flash across his expression. His eyes narrowed slightly and his jaw tightened. He looked hungry, like a wolf that just spotted prey. "Whoa, that's crazy," he said, his voice carefully neutral. "Let me see that." He took the ticket from my hand and examined it closely, turning it over to look at the back. "Yeah, this looks real. You should probably put this somewhere safe until you can claim it on Monday." He handed it back to me, but something in his tone made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. We went to dinner like planned, but the mood had changed completely. Parker was quiet, distracted, barely touching his burger. He kept looking at my jacket pocket where I'd put the ticket. Every few minutes he'd ask me questions about what I planned to do with the money, how the claiming process worked, whether I was going to tell our friends right away. I gave vague answers, saying I needed to research it first and figure out the tax situation. The whole time, I watched his face carefully. I'd seen that look before, in my work investigating insurance fraud. It was the look of someone planning something dishonest. When we got back to our apartment, I made a decision. I wanted to test Parker to see if my suspicions about him were right or if I was just being paranoid. I deliberately left the lottery ticket sitting on the coffee table in our living room and announced I was going to take a shower. "I'll be back in 20 minutes, I said loudly. "That burger is sitting heavy. I need to wash off the grease." I walked into the bathroom, closed the door most of the way but left it open just a crack, and turned on the shower. Then I stood there silently, watching through the gap. Parker waited exactly 2 minutes after the shower started running. Then he moved. He walked over to the coffee table and picked up the lottery ticket, studying it carefully in the light. Then he reached into his own jacket pocket and pulled out something that made my blood run cold. It was another Golden Stake ticket, identical to mine. He must have bought it at the same gas station while I wasn't looking. He compared the two tickets side by side, then very carefully swapped them. He put my winning ticket in his pocket and placed his losing ticket exactly where mine had been on the table. I stayed in the bathroom for another 15 minutes, giving Parker time to do whatever he was planning to do next. When I finally came out, wrapped in a towel with wet hair, the apartment was empty. Parker was gone. All his stuff from his bedroom was gone too. He'd packed fast, throwing clothes and belongings into bags like he was running from a fire. On the kitchen counter, he'd left a note written on the back of a receipt. "Had to leave town for a family emergency. Will be in touch." But his phone number was already going straight to voicemail, and when I checked, he'd blocked me on every social media platform. I sat down on the couch and picked up the fake lottery ticket Parker had left behind. I scratched off the remaining panels he'd left covered. As expected, it was a loser not worth a single penny. I smiled to myself and pulled out my phone. The next morning, our group chat started blowing up with messages. Parker had posted a photo of the winning ticket with a long caption, "Hard work finally paid off. After years of grinding, I finally hit the jackpot. $500,000. Goodbye to this boring life. Goodbye, losers." Our friends immediately started asking questions, confused because they remembered me mentioning a winning ticket the night before. I kept my response simple and believable. "Nah, I must have misread mine," I typed into the group chat. "Got excited over nothing. Parker's the lucky one, not me. Happy for him." The messages kept coming, people congratulating Parker, asking him what he was going to do with the money, making jokes about him forgetting his friends when he got rich. Parker responded to everyone except me, his messages full of excitement and big plans. He was moving to California. He was buying a sports car. He was going to travel the world. He was finally going to live the life he deserved. I stayed completely silent about the truth. I didn't tell anyone what really happened. I didn't expose Parker or try to get the ticket back. I just watched and waited. Because here's what Parker didn't know about me. As an insurance fraud investigator, I keep a collection of what we call demonstration tickets. These are special scratch-off lottery tickets that look completely real but are actually used for training store clerks. They're designed to test security systems and teach employees how to spot fraudulent claims. The tickets look identical to real ones. They feel identical, but the barcode on the back contains a specific code that marks them as void. The winning Golden Stake ticket I'd shown Parker that night was one of my demonstration tickets. I'd brought it home from work weeks ago, planning to use it in a training session. When I decided to test Parker, I scratched it off to make it look like a real winner and left it out as bait. The real $5 ticket I bought at the gas station was safely in my wallet the whole time, unscratched and worthless. Parker had stolen a fake ticket and didn't even know it. And now I was going to watch him learn one of life's hardest lessons. Over the next 3 months, I watched Parker's life transform on social media. He quit his job at the marketing firm where he'd worked for 3 years, posting a dramatic goodbye message about finally being free from the corporate world. He took out a high-interest loan to buy a bright red sports car, some expensive Italian brand I'd never heard of. He told the dealership that his lottery check was being processed by the State Lottery Commission and would arrive within 90 days. They believed him because he showed them the ticket. He put a down payment on a luxury condo downtown, making the same promise about incoming funds. Parker threw parties every weekend at his new condo, inviting everyone he knew and plenty of people he didn't. He posted photos of expensive dinners, designer clothes, bottles of champagne that cost more than our old monthly rent. He was living like a millionaire on pure credit and promises. Our mutual friends started asking me if I was jealous, if it bothered me that Parker had gotten so lucky. I always said the same thing. Good for him. Everyone deserves a win sometimes. Inside, I was counting down the days until everything collapsed. Because in exactly 90 days, the Lottery Commission was hosting their quarterly Winners Gala. The Winners Gala was a small event the state lottery office held 4 times a year for local winners. It wasn't mandatory, but most winners attended because it was a chance to get their photo taken with a giant ceremonial check and meet other lucky people. The invitation was sent to everyone who'd claimed a prize over $10,000 in the previous quarter. Parker received his invitation in the mail and posted about it immediately, excited to make his win official. He rented a designer tuxedo for the occasion. He hired a professional photographer to document the moment. He invited all our friends to come watch him accept his prize. The night of the gala arrived. It was held in a hotel ballroom downtown, decorated with gold balloons and banners. About 30 winners were there, ranging from people who'd won $10,000 to one elderly woman who'd won $2 million. Parker showed up looking like he owned the place, shaking hands and introducing himself to everyone. Our friends sat at a table near the front, cheering when Parker's name was called. I stood in the very back of the room, leaning against the wall with a bottle of water, watching everything unfold exactly as I knew it would. Parker walked up to the podium where a lottery official waited with a clipboard and a magnifying glass. The official was a serious-looking woman in her 50s who'd probably seen every kind of lottery claim imaginable. Parker handed her the ticket with a confident smile. She placed it under the magnifying glass on her desk, examining it carefully. Her expression changed. The smile disappeared from her face, replaced by confusion, then concern. She looked up at Parker, then back at the ticket. "Sir, where did you get this ticket?" she asked, her voice cutting through the happy noise in the room. Parker's confident grin didn't fade. He thought this was just a standard question. "I bought it at the Shell station on 5th Street, he said proudly. "Back in October. Been waiting for this moment ever since. Why do you ask?" The official picked up the ticket and turned it over, pointing at the barcode on the back. "Because this ticket belongs to a series that was reported as demonstration only," she said clearly, loud enough for people nearby to hear. "It's a high-end training ticket used for teaching store clerks. It looks real and feels real, but the barcode on the back literally says void when scanned." The silence that filled that ballroom was absolutely deafening. Every conversation stopped. Every head turned toward the podium. Parker's face went completely white, then red, then white again. "What? No, that's impossible. I won $500,000. Check it again. There must be some mistake." The official ran the barcode through her scanner and showed Parker the screen. In big red letters it displayed, "Demonstration ticket, no cash value, void." Parker grabbed the ticket from her hands, staring at it like he could make the words change through sheer willpower. But nothing changed. The ticket was fake, and now everyone knew it. Parker's carefully built world of wealth collapsed in about 10 seconds. Because he'd spent 3 months taking out loans based on his supposed lottery winnings. Because he'd made financial commitments he couldn't possibly keep. The consequences started immediately. The sports car dealership sued him for fraud. The condo complex canceled his lease and kept his deposit. The credit card companies that had given him higher limits based on his incoming funds reported him for misrepresentation. He wasn't just broke anymore. He was in serious legal trouble for what technically counted as loan fraud. He'd claimed to have money he never actually possessed. Our mutual friends didn't hate me for what happened. When the full story came out, when Parker finally admitted in a desperate group chat message that he'd taken the ticket from my apartment, they were disgusted with him, not me. They stopped inviting him to things. They stopped answering his calls. They just drifted away quietly, the way friends do when someone shows you who they really are. Parker moved back into his parents' basement to pay off the debt from the sports car he no longer owned. Last I heard, he was working 2 jobs and would be paying off loans for the next 5 years. I never told Parker that I knew the whole time. I never explained that the ticket was a demonstration one I'd brought home from work. I never revealed that I'd watched him make the swap through the bathroom door. I just let him make his own choices and face his own consequences. He thought he was stealing my future that night, my chance at $500,000 and a better life. But really, he was just revealing exactly who he was when he thought nobody was watching. Sometimes, the best way to win isn't by fighting or exposing or getting revenge. Sometimes the best way to win is to step back and let the other person think they've already won. Let them build their house of cards as high as they want. Gravity will handle the rest. I paid 50 cents for that demonstration ticket years ago when I started my job. Best investment I ever made. It didn't win me money, but it showed me the truth about my best friend. And knowing the truth is worth more than any lottery prize. Thank you for